Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the DevCycle HQ Twitch channel. I'm so excited to be back after some questionable things going on for our last stream, trying to get things live. We weren't able to do it live here, but we're back, we're live, and we're back with an exciting brand new stream series. I am so excited to be here today to launch DevTools and DevCools with my good friend, DevCycle VP Engineering. Let me bring him on. Nick, how's it going, man? How are you doing today?
Going well, thanks. How are you?
Amazing. I'm doing great. This is kind of your moment right now. You are all over the place on podcasts and streams, and I saw a YouTube video with you. Your face is plastered everywhere. How does it feel to be a DevTools celebrity right now?
A little bit embarrassing, but I'm getting used to it.
That's the right answer. Be humble until they start throwing millions of dollars at you. Just for anybody who's tuning into this stream and you are asking yourself, what is this thing? What have I come into today? This doesn't seem like feature focus. I've never seen this Nick character before. What is going on? Well, you have come into kind of a new type of stream, I guess, on DevCycle's Twitch channel. So historically, I guess, over the past couple of months, we've really kind of focused on dev tools that are connected to our own tooling. So DevCycle, if you don't know what it is a feature flagging platform. I'm going to force Nick to tell you more about that in a minute. But this stream is actually not about DevCycle. This stream is actually about just like cool things that we have found because we are a tech company and we're a bunch of engineers that love to find things and build things. And so we find a lot of cool things and we want to show you said cool things and also show you if it's worth your time by kind of like decoding the helpful from the hype. Like, let's look and see what of these dev tools are actually kind of useful to you. And who better to help us do that than the DevCycle VP Engineering. So Nick, this is your debut on the DevCycle Twitch channel. And while I do some tech checks in the background, do you want to maybe just like introduce yourself to our audience and tell a little bit about maybe about your background and how you got into DevCycle, and then obviously what DevCycle is. So I'm going to go off screen while you do that intro, and I'll come back after I've made sure everything's working.
Okay, cool. My name's Nick LeBlanc. I'm the VP of Engineering at DevCycle. I have been at DevCycle since its beginning, which was a couple years ago. My background is mostly front-end web development. I've been doing various kinds of web development for the last 20 years or so, probably a bit more. I've been there for like jQuery and PHP and .NET and all that fun stuff. Got into front-end frameworks with Angular 2 when I joined a different company, then got into React and Redux and all that stuff. But then I got into management, so that's what brings me here. Hope I sound okay.
You sound great. It sounds.
Great.
I went over onto the Twitch channel. Everybody sounds good.
Cool.
The background music is very calming. By the way, shout out. Like I don't know. Do you often go into streams or like YouTube channels and find like those really long playing like chill background like lo-fi music? Is that a thing you do?
No.
So I definitely do, and this happened when I started streaming. But Harris Heller, if you ever look up like lo-fi stream beats, so these are all like copyright free background songs, and he has like just a massive back catalog. And so all the stuff that we're listening to today on the stream are all Harris Heller things. So don't DMCA me, Twitch. It's all good. I have documentation.
Have you seen the one that mixes lo-fi music with air traffic control?
No, but I love that that's a thing.
Yeah, and it's so live air traffic control, and you can change the airport that you're listening to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really neat. I forget what it's called though.
These are the things. This is what, if you're watching the stream, these are the things you will discover. You will discover the not only cool tech tools, but also cool cool random tech adjacent things that are going on out there.
Mhm.
So just to give you folks a little background on kind of the format of this show. So again, it is called, let me pull up this banner. I'll put it over our faces just for a second because I really liked making this banner. So this is called DevTools and DevCools, decoding the help from the hype. And so there are going to be kind of two segments to this show. One of them is going to be the DevTools, where we actually go live on stream and we mess around with some cool DevTools. And by mess around, I mean I rely on Nick having VP and engineering in his job title to ensure that this doesn't go completely off the rails. And then
You did say that it was okay if it did go off the rails.
I did. It's good. It's a good thing if it goes off the rails, but only if it's you making it go off the rails. And then we have DevCools as well, where we're going to talk about kind of some of the really cool like articles, tools, things we found. Consider this to be like your live streamed Hacker News, because that is maybe what we might do, is just go onto Hacker News and talk about things. But yeah, maybe Nick, do you want to tell our amazing audience, our amazing viewers, what is our DevTools section going to be about today? What are the tools that we're kind of going to be exploring as we go through today?
Yeah, we are going to be exploring 3 tools. One is called NX. It's a monorepo tooling system. The other is called Nextjs, which is a front-end framework around React. And the last one is Netlify, and that is a hosting provider.
Love that.
So we're going to use NX to build a Next.js application, and then we're going to deploy it to Netlify.
All the alliteration,
Yep.
all the alliteration today. So I'm going to ask this now, and hopefully there's somebody here to clip this if you give the wrong answer, because I love just how intense the React and Next community is right now. So Nick, what are your feelings? Why do you love React so much? Or why do you hate React so much? And either way, just know I'm going to clip this to the opposite of what you said, just to anger the internet gods.
Well, I like React a lot because I've been doing front-end development for a very long time, so I've experienced all the problems that it's trying to solve. Generally, I like all of the front-end frameworks for that. React, though, it's just it's very easy to get rolling, especially since they went more functional from their original like kind of class-based style. And I'm a big fan of functional programming, so yeah, it's a good set of tools. It's very easy to spin up a React app and get rolling.
I love that. Yeah, it's interesting too. So I'm definitely not a React developer. In fact, I wouldn't go so far as to say I hate React, because I haven't spent enough time learning to love React as I should have. But one of the frameworks that I use that is definitely outside of the JS space has recently made some changes to move it more sort of in line with React and sort of some of the more popular JavaScript frameworks. And the uproar within the community has been very interesting to see. Even things like page-based routing. So like that's not a like a huge thing, right? Like this has been around forever in a lot of these frameworks, but the framework in question was not doing page-based routing. People were like, why must we be like React? Can't we be different? And the answer is no, we must all drink the React Kool-Aid.
Well, so just to be clear though, React didn't introduce page-based routing. Page-based routing comes from Next. And even that they've moved past with the new app router.
Look at that. Look at the segue that I just accidentally made from React into Next. It's almost like it was planned, but you can't plan this.
What's the framework that you don't want to name?
So I name it every time. People know that I like really, really love PHP development. And so like my kind of stack for any project that I build is Laravel Livewire, which is like basically like a reimagining of Ajax combined with JavaScript, the Alpine JS kind of micro framework, and Tailwind. And so like that tall stack is kind of my thing. And they just had a massive conference, like the Laravel like North America conference, where they released like new versions of things. And yeah, like they announced this big change of like, oh, we're moving away from focusing on the router file or on your routes file. People were just like, anyways, but I will say forever, like for people that are looking to start doing full stack web development and find things like React or Vue or like any of these other things scary. I find like because PHP is not a front end framework, because it's like a server side language, they had to kind of make the front end like as if it would be something that a back end developer would enjoy if they were doing front end. And so it's a little bit like, I don't want to say cleaner, but less complex. But then you've got to mold it to do what you want it to do. So that's the other downside.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk, we're going to talk NX, but I feel like NX, while it's like first in the description, I feel like there needs to be a conversation about like Next.js, because Next.js is huge right now. Like you cannot type in JavaScript and not come up with at least one page on Next. So like, what is the difference in your mind anyways between just vanilla React and a Next.js app?
Yeah, traditionally React has been completely client-side, which means that like your browser, when you're going to run a single page application, so something traditionally made with React, it needs to download all of the code that is React itself, and then all of the code that is your application, so that it can present to you the application itself. So it's a single page application because when you're clicking around the app, it's not actually making page navigations. Like it's not going back to the server and navigating to a new page and then grabbing new HTML and rendering that. It's all built into the client-side bundle. One of the problems with single page applications is that bundle gets pretty big. And if you need that entire bundle to come in before anything actually happens on your application, then that's a limiting factor, especially for people with like slow internet connections or older devices, which a lot of the web development community tends to forget about. There was a lot of, there were a couple hot take articles that went back and forth about like the state of web development a few months back. I can link them to you later, but
yeah,
that was pretty interesting.
So I'm super curious. I want to just like pause it for a second, because this is a thing. You've been in this world for a lot longer than I have. So I've been in the official tech scene for like a half dozen years, maybe. But before that, not. But I've always wanted to get into web development. Like I really enjoy this side of things. I'm not very good at it, but enjoy it. But one of the things that's always sort of put me off about this world is like, I worked in a faculty of engineering for a while at a university, and you like come to learn that engineers love to over-engineer things. And so you just end up with like building these frameworks and tools that require 12 steps to do a thing that you used to be able to do in one. Like go back to like old school internet, like back in like early like 80s, 90s, 2000s even. You didn't have this like massive process to set something up, and now you're like worrying about compilers, and you're worrying about bundlers, and like I'm working on a new project right now, and like I needed to delete my like vendor and node modules folder, and then I got this big warning being like, hey, you need to make sure that Vite is running, and I'm like, oh my god, of course I do. But like that just wasn't a problem. So like, what is your opinion? Do you think that we've gone too focused on like optimization, and now we're like inaccessible to people that want to sort of like learn this in a easy way, I guess?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I think it is complex, but it's not as complex as it has been. So obviously it started off pretty simple. Like you've got HTML, you've got some JavaScript, you've got some CSS, and they load every time. Then people started getting more into JavaScript, and they had to figure out a way to bundle it all, or you'd have to load every single JavaScript file in the right order if there were dependencies from one to the other. So that introduced things like Browserify and Require.js, and personally those were blockers for me. They prevented me from getting into the world at that time. Then like Node came out. I didn't know what Node was. I didn't know where it was going to fit into the stack, because I was like a very, very traditional web developer at the time. And like a lot of the tooling for me at the time was like Dreamweaver. So like Dreamweaver would set up a template, and then it would know how to update all these files, and then I just FTP'd them to the server, like basically fix stuff in production. But now what we have is like, due to the complexity of the internet and what people expect the internet to provide them nowadays, because like what people do with the internet is completely different than what they used to. We do need these advanced libraries, but at the same time, we need to have tooling that can make sure that like we're only bringing in what we need to bring in. Because like we go back to that bundle size issue. There's a whole lot of solutions that people have made about that, like code splitting and like lazy loading, server-side rendering, which kind of goes back to the old days. But that's basically what Next is bringing back to the fold, is the ability to like render things on the server first, present that HTML to the user as though React had rendered it, because I think they do actually use React to render it on the server, but it's not yet interactive until it goes through something called hydration. And at that point, it becomes a client-side app. But even that is changing with like Next 13. And we can get into that too later.
Yeah, let's do it. Whatever. So so then it's interesting, right? I love learning these things. This is really why I'm here. I just want to learn live on stream from you, Nick, and get paid for it.
I didn't mention grunt or bower or gulp.
I remember
being really upset. Well, it sounds like you have a vendor folder.
What's that?
You said you have a vendor folder?
Yeah, and the project I'm working on.
Is that managed by Bower?
No, I'm PHP. It's Composer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Because but Bower used to use a vendor folder. But yeah, I learned gulp. Sorry, I finally learned grunt as soon as gulp became popular, and that really pissed me off. But then I got into gulp, and gulp was cool.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, it's so funny though, like the way that you're describing sort of like what Next has done for the kind of React JavaScript community is kind of what Livewire has done for the PHP community. So it's doing that exact kind of idea. So it's abstracting a little bit of the stuff. But yeah, anyways, I'm super excited to not talk about PHP today because people will never listen to me again. And I want to talk about Next.
Stream where you just talk about PHP.
Listen, that is going to be the thing. That'll be the thing that I do. I one day I've said I'm going to code live on stream and like actually do the real way that I program, which is just like basically me jumping around between ChatGPT, Stack Overflow, Discord, and just screaming into a pillow.
Nice.
That's a solid way to.
That's how you program.
That's what everybody does. You know what? It's funny. So it's funny. Like you talked about Dreamweaver. My first website that I ever like officially built, where I was getting paid to do it for a job, because I walked in the first day and they're like, "You look like you look, so you know how to build a website, right?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah, I definitely have that look about me, don't I?" And I used something called Zara Web Designer, and it was. Yeah, so like not a thing you had ever heard of. I was like, it was a nonprofit and we were really cheap, and it output the most garbage code that you have ever seen in your life. So at least Dreamweaver had something going for it that made it worthwhile.
Yeah, Dreamweaver was handy.
Yeah,
my biggest passion though at the time was Flash. I loved Flash.
How did it feel?
Did you ever use Flash?
I did. How did it feel? Listen, I'm back. Do you remember Newgrounds? Do you remember that website?
No.
Oh my God. Maybe no. I feel like if you, anyways, Newgrounds was this like site in the, I don't know, this would have been like the late 90s, early 2000s. And like all the content on it was like Flash games and Flash videos and Flash animated series.
Okay.
And it was like the most sad thing to see it die as Flash got like deprecated. And I was like, oh, this is such a painful experience.
What I was into with the Flash community was like Joshua Davis and like Too Advanced, like generative art and stuff, like just crazy Flash interfaces. That was neat. And Joshua Davis is still doing stuff, so
is he?
He's not using Flash anymore, I don't think. But
I was gonna say,
my cousin's in. Sorry.
What did he move to, like HTML Canvas stuff, or just like moved away from Flash completely?
I have no idea, but there's a guy that I used to work with named Varun, and he does a lot of that stuff too. But I don't know how he does it. But yeah, look him up. If you just Google Varun, you'll find it.
I shall. Yeah. So all right, so we are here. We're not here to talk about. We will. One day we will do another tool, and we will explore my favorite stack. But today we're here. NX, Next, Netlify. So yeah, we talked a little bit about Next.js. NX. So I didn't realize this when I was starting to prep for the stream, I was like, what is NX? And I was like Googling and watching videos, and I was like, oh, okay, I get this. So like you want to develop multiple apps in the same repo. Doesn't make sense to have multiple repos if you don't need to. And I didn't realize you don't know what you don't know. And of course, there needs to be tooling that's set up if you're going to have all of the same code in a single repository. So yeah, how did you discover NX though? Like, where did this come into your world?
I was aware of NX because of the work that I did with Angular. So like Angular 2, that core team, there were two guys on it, Victor Sapkin and Jeff Cross, I think. And then they left the core team. So they left Google and they started their own like kind of consultancy called Narwhal. And in that consultancy, they built NX. And so I think NX was initially kind of like a tool set for Angular applications and for Angular components. So that's how I was aware of it. I think it's like there were other monorepo options when NX first came out, but I think it's a major player now. We use it now at DevCycle for basically most of our repositories, most of our repos, not all of them. Yeah, it's fairly useful.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, as I've been living in the world of documentation recently, like the Next dev docs or the NX, both the Next and the NX documentation for getting an app up off the ground are great. It's really Netlify where things start to fall apart, but I honestly genuinely do think that that's not a documentation problem. I think it's just like a little bit of the information is hidden away to try and find it. It takes a couple more steps. But really that just comes down to like reading the docs, right? Like finding and reading and understanding that it takes a couple of extra steps to deploy a monorepo.
Yeah, and like to Netlify's credit, or like any hosting provider like that, their docs are most likely going to be geared towards someone who's like just building a next application, like just from a root directory, not from within NX or any kind of monorepo, because that kind of changes like the configuration of the build that Netlify would have to deal with, but not too dramatically.
That said, I mean, like to their credit as well, right? Like this, they literally have like repositories on, or like documentation specifically addressing this whole mono repo problem question and like giving instructions on how to build and like how to use their TOML files. So like it is there. I do just feel right. It's a lot easier when you're going into like say Next and NX because it's specifically designed for these specific like tooling and setups. And like, for example, I found it really interesting going into NX and is it the NX Nextjs? There's like a specific like package. Is it deploying Nextjs? Yeah, this was it. So like, yeah, you want to do Nextjs, like there's just documentation specifically addressing all of these things. And like, you couldn't do that when you're focused on like something like a monorepo on Netlify. So yeah. And then if anybody is on here and they're like, I don't know what Netlify is. Yeah, there we go. I love that. Tootin, I love that Brad's here and caught that. Yes, Newgrounds is a thing. I love that I just aged myself. Anyway, sorry, if you don't know what Netlify is an awesome hosting provider, service provider, really big. So sort of in this space, we've got like Netlify, Vercel. Who else is really in like this specific space of like Fastly,
Cloudflare, stuff like that. Like the Netlify is like an edge, kind of like CDN edge service. So like they were big, or they still are big on like the whole Jamstack thing. So like static site generation, like Gatsby. I think they recently purchased Gatsby earlier in the year.
Yeah, they had a good conference a couple of years ago. Yeah, Next, Gatsby, Angular, Hugo, all of the things. Yeah,
I think they coined the term Jamstack too.
I'm pretty sure they did too. We were talking to somebody about this, and there was a conversation about like why there was a conference that was called like the Jamstack conference, and why did it exist? And part of that big conference was to like get that term out in the world, but it disappeared. Like, I mean, the tech world moves really fast, so I'm not really surprised. But like I have heard less about Jamstack in the last little while. So I think it's
still around, and it's funny because it's kind of like a response to the complexities of front end development, because it brings stuff back to just like, here's a static site, or like you've still got a CMS, but now we're just going to build everything locally and push it.
Yeah. Also, headless CMS. This is another tool, and I know we're not talking about this now, but like I love the headless CMS tool that is just like out in the world now. Of like, here's how you can control your site without ever needing to have like I don't want to spin up a WordPress instance to manage my blog, and nor should you need to. But we are not here to talk about headless CMS, not here to talk about Jamstack. We are here to build some stuff, and we're already a couple minutes in. So what do you say? Oh, Firebase. Yes, thank you. That's another thing that's kind of in that space of Netlify and Versal. So shall we get started? Do you want to share your terminal, or do you want to watch me struggle through commands? What would you like to do?
Oh, that could actually be fun if you do.
You want to pair? You want to pair, and I can drive?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
Oh God, I'm gonna regret this decision. No, I'm not gonna regret this decision because I made sure that 90% of it worked yesterday. And it was only like I did. I yesterday. I didn't
even do that till this morning.
There you go. Listen, I have a couple of hours on top of you. All right, let's pull this over here. And let's share this screen. So I'm going to hide this one and stop this one and present share screen. All right. Window. Welcome. Yes. Entire screen. I'm going to share the entire screen. Hopefully I don't dox myself. All right. Welcome to VS Code. I was going to go out there and I was going to install like Jetstream stuff and, or not Jetstream. What's the other IDE?
Oh, JetBrains. So
JetBrains. I was going to go out and I was going to install JetBrains just because I talked about it on the last stream, but I don't have that kind of cash. So welcome to VS Code. So Nick, what do I do? What do I do now? How do I begin? What should I do to start our NX project?
I would open a terminal and see if you have NX installed.
I definitely don't, but...
Oh, you can open a terminal with controlled backtick if you're on a Mac.
Let's zoom in on this text. There we go. I did this.
I think just type NX and see if anything pops up.
No, it won't pop up.
Okay, let's install NX.
Well, we're going to install NX. I need to have these things. All right, what do I need to do? What's my command?
Actually, if you want, I can do it. But
no. This is good. I think this is good. Walk through an absolute novice is definitely the right way to do this. So what's our install? Go to the docs.
All right. Let me see. I already have it installed, so
I did it without install yesterday. So what's interesting?
Yeah, so maybe just type npx create-nx-workspace.
There we go.
Sorry, create no spaces.
Yes.
Yep. There you go.
You did it. All right, stream over. Where do I want to create my workspace? We're going to call this NX Next Netlify. By the way, if you're in chat, thank you for this. I appreciate the confidence. If you're in chat, by the way, if there's anything in the stream, like you're like the audio is too bad, the music isn't great, or like zoom in, zoom out, like let us know, because that's a big piece with this whole cycle, is just making sure you can see things.
So
all right.
Here you're going to want to choose none. Now there's a preset for Next that we could have used, but I just wanted to do it more like step by step.
Do I actually have a none option? Oh, I do. It's literally the first option. Okay.
And then you want integrated monorepo.
Okay. What's the difference between our package-based, standalone, and integrated? Do you know?
To be honest, I'm not very sure. I just know that integrated works. Like if NX is looking for some feedback here, those titles are ambiguous and their descriptions are ambiguous. Like nothing here in the terminal helps clarify what these are.
I love it. I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one. All right, let's go integrate.
Oh yeah, so to go into the point of a monorepo, which you were kind of getting at earlier, the reason why you want a monorepo is if you have a whole lot of projects that share code. So you can imagine if you had like multiple projects that share code and they were all in different repositories, you would have to do a lot of like Git wrangling or like pushing things to npm so that you could have like that shared source that all of these different repositories could build things from. With a monorepo, you don't have that problem. But the management of the monorepo and making sure that everything is appropriately linked, especially with like npm linking, that's hard. So a tool like NX helps you do that. So the reason why I chose integrated is because it suggests multiple projects. So like we could have multiple Next projects. We could build also a component library that they could both share from.
Okay, I dig it. I like it.
Select no here.
Select no. Yeah, well, this is just it, right? I mean, I often find myself building and then I'm like, do I push this thing that is really shitty to npm? And the answer is not always yes. Oh, and yeah, okay, so this is a thing that I got there before, so I just needed to remember this. Or do I install? Maybe I just install NX because we're going to be doing this and I don't want
to just do yarn global add NX. Or that's
Yarn. Come on, man. We don't use yarn. Not in this house. Not in this house.
I used to be like you.
Back in the day. You know what? It's just I feel like I've been indoctrinated into the Node package manager. In fairness, I actually have very little preference for either, but I started with npm, and so I need to live here now. Too. All right. So we're doing npm. Oh, we already did it. All right. So now we
install it. So I think you just repeat the same step that you did. Oh no, it did create it all. Okay, yeah, so you should have a folder called NX Next Netlify.
All right, cd NX.
You do.
All right, and we are there.
Cool.
What's up? What do we do now?
Okay, so now we have a workspace. If you want to open this up as the open folder inside your VS Code, we can kind of get a good idea of the project structure.
All right, let's take a look. Yes. No, I don't trust the authors.
Cool.
All right, there we go.
All right. So one thing that NX does is it moves all of the node modules that any of your packages depend on. It moves them to the root of the folder, and then it kind of sets up symlinks between them all through like some NX magic. So that's one thing to point out. Inside apps, let's see if you have anything there. You don't. No, so yet. This is where we're going to build our first Nextjs application. But we're going to do it through NX tooling. And I would I don't know much about using the NX extension.
We're going to ignore that I just installed the thing that I was told to. Don't do what I do, children. Don't install things just because you're prompted to do so, because that does not end well.
Extensions are pretty handy, and DevCycle has a really good one that just released yesterday.
Product placement right there. Is it actually out? Can I download it right now?
It came out yesterday.
Boom, let's go. Look at that. Developer advocate who doesn't actually know. What is up? Look at that, everybody. If you are like, I don't even know what DevCycle is. I landed here because you were doing something next. Now is your time. Go to VS Code. If you're not using VS Code, what's wrong with you? Install this. Install this if you're not using VS Code. Sorry, we're not sponsored by Microsoft yet. Give it time.
There's a lot of JetBrains fans in this office too, though.
There's a lot of JetBrains fans. I will say, so here's the thing about JetBrains. So JetBrains is like a really powerful, but I find you've got to like know how to set it up. But I like VS Code, and the main reason I like it is because back in the day I was running like an educational program, and I like tweeted about VS Code that we were using it, and the developer of the live share component had like reached out and was like, I'd love to work with you, and I was like, this is awesome, you are who I want to work with.
That's cool.
Yeah, anyways, that's my fun VS Code story. All right, so we're set up. We got DevCycle installed here, but that's not what we want to do. We want to get a Nextjs app up and running on here.
Yeah, so just to keep going through the folder breakdown a bit, you've got apps, you got libs. Libs is going to be NX libraries. So that would be something like if you had a shared component library, you would build it in there. But if you have multiple Next apps that consume that component library, you would have them in the apps folder. But
do you also say library?
No, but you say libs. What do you say, libs?
I say lives. I would say lives. Oh, wow. We're going into the GIF world. Right.
Yeah, I'm a GIF guy.
And then node modules.
Yeah.
Look at all.
So this is everything that NX depends on. So everything there is just for NX, and it's assuming that you're using TypeScript, so that's why you've got some TSC stuff in there. But yeah, let's now get to actually generating a Next.js app. So if you hop back to the NX docs.
Oh, all right. I was going to say, this is, it's so funny. I think the assumption of TypeScript is not a good one, because who would want to use TypeScript? Terrible language.
Everyone should use TypeScript.
Everyone should use TypeScript.
So this is what you do. So there is a NX package called @nx/next, and you need to add that to your workspace. So you're using npm, so you would npm install @nx/next.
All right, npm install. Sorry, say that again.
@nx/next.
We're building. I tried to build something on a personal device the other day, and it took me like 3 hours. And then I realized that I was like, why is this so slow? I'm so used to it going fast. And it's like, oh yeah, because I'm running on an M1 MacBook Pro. All right, we're there. We did it. Success.
Okay, cool. So now we have the tools we need to, in NX terms, generate a Next app. So you're going to type, just type NX again in your terminal, see if it does anything.
Did nothing.
Did nothing? Oh, okay, that's good. So it means that it's there, so we can use it. So you're going to type NX space G, and G is short for generate. And then you're going to do a space.
G. Yeah, yep. Okay.
And then a space, and then repeat the package name that you just downloaded. So @nx/next. So this is the tool that you're going to use.
Yeah.
And then :app. So you're saying that from this tool, I want to generate an app. And then you're going to give it a space, and then you're going to name it. So it's going to be the name of your app, and it's going to be the name of the folder that's added to the next folder. Sorry, the apps folder.
All right. NX, Netlify. We good?
That looks good.
Fantastic. We did it.
Cool.
Ooh.
All right. So generally, I would choose something like Tailwind, but they don't have it here, so I would just stick to bare bones CSS.
With you there.
In the interest of not complicating things.
What are you talking about?
At the top.
What is emoticon?
Emotion and styled components were kind of competitors. I think emotion came out first. I'm not sure.
All right. Anyways, we'll go CSS.
We will use the app router.
Yes. I will say, so I actually didn't follow this process when I was setting it up before. Well, this installs, I'll show you. So like if you look up this like deploying Next.js applications, I hadn't had anything set up, and I literally just ran like this command, so, like, not even installing NX. Like I just did like npx nxg this, and it went like super fast. It was super smooth. I feel like now we're getting the real insight into how it works, but it is a very smooth process.
Yeah, well, I think what you might have done is the workspace command with the preset for Next. Yeah, because that one, you get your workspace, you get Next set up, you have an app in there ready to go. I just wanted to show the steps that it was actually doing, just to explain a bit more about what NX actually is.
No, I think that's great. All right, so we are set up. I got an npm. What am I getting a warning? Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a warning. It's not stopping me from doing what I want to do.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Go back to your folder structure view, which you have there, but like
there we go.
There you go. So in your apps folder now you have an Netlify, and it also created a like end-to-end test app for you there. I forget if it's with Cypress. Yeah, it's with Cypress. We can just disregard that for now, or we'll just disregard that entirely. But so you basically have an app now. So if you type in nx space serve space nx-next-netlify, next, yeah.
How Netlify, Netlif. There we go. One extra T in there. Let's just get rid of that. All right, here we go. And let's open this bad boy up. All right. Ba-ba-da-da. Hey, we got it. I like it. So, this was the easy part.
Okay. So you have a GitHub account. So now we're talking about deploying it to Netlify, right?
If I work in this industry and I don't have a GitHub account, this is when I get fired immediately on stream. You're done. God, if you have to teach version control live on stream, that's painful. Actually,
that would be fun.
You know what though? Hold on. So I will share from a previous life. Let me go to YouTube. Speaking of that, so during the pandemic, high tech you. Oh, hold on. High tech. Oh my God. High tech you get. During the pandemic, I tried to be a YouTuber for this organization that I ran, and I did this like awesome video where I like. Anyways, this took me far too long.
I thought that was a washing machine at first.
That's the right answer. I do say that my favorite thing to do though was this. Hold on, I gotta show you this animation. It's just like, wait for it. Oh, it does not show it. Oh, here we go. Wait, there should be a plate. Oh, come on. Hold on. I gotta find this one. Maybe it's on the original video. Is this the Tech Bytes one where? Oh, it's not gonna happen. It's not happening. Anyways, trying to teach people Git is really challenging was the moral of my story. And I need some more views on these videos, guys. So come on, get over here, check it out. But yes, I have a GitHub account. We're set up there. So what are we doing? We're gonna initiate that repo.
Yeah. So create a repo for it and just push it up to the repo.
Yes. All right. Publish. Organization. None. Publish. Are you enjoying my use of GitHub Desktop? I will say I had zero desire to learn all of the commands to use it in.
That's fair.
There you go. All right, there you go. It's all right. You know what? I knew you were. I am not a programmer's programmer. I'm a non-programmer's programmer. So let's go and
whatever gets the job done.
There you go. That's the right answer. All right, I'm going to unshare for a second while I move these files over. All right, let's go GitHub. We got our next Netlify there. I'm going to grab from documents. Where did I put that? Oh, I put it in here. Where are you hiding? Next Netlify. Let's grab all of you and move you over to another Finder window. So just imagine if you are watching this stream right now, I'm doing very complicated developer things in the background, just so that you don't have to see them, because you're not here to see interesting developer-y things. You're here to just see Nick and Andrew get an app up live. All right, let's go drag you over here and drag you over here. Oh, what did I do? I did a bad thing. There we go. View. Oh, why are you not working? Wait, what? We're gonna find out if I just broke something, which I may have. Oh, it's because I still have this running. All right, let's close this down. Pull up GitHub Desktop again. All right, let's go share again, and then you'll see. Look at this. Look at all these files. 32,000 files. Somebody needs a gitignore file. Somebody.
Yeah. I'm guessing you pushed up some node modules accidentally.
I might. No.
I would have expected the gitignore that they would have given you to stop that.
So this is just it. Like, it's such a strange thing. I did this yesterday, and I was really surprised that it didn't. Okay, let me just do this, and then let's go there and there. Nope, wrong one.
If you dragged from your Finder window from one folder to another, then it probably stripped the .gitignore.
You know what?
The .files don't show up in your Finder.
I think that is an entirely likely situation that may have happened. So let's go and see if it's still in there. This is like the joy. Is my gitignore still in this folder? Is anything still in this folder?
The gitignore would be the one at the root.
No, but I'm just trying to see. Things have gone awry. Why did I do this, Nick? Why did I think this was a good idea? Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. let's move you over to, I need to move all of you over now. And you, no, all right, let's file, open folder, GitHub, all right, open. Does that look like everything that should be there? That looks like everything should be there. Well, we'll find out. We'll see if it runs.
Let's see if it runs now. Actually, we can. If you open a terminal in this folder,
yeah, let's go NX. What am I running? NX serve, NX Netlify.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
You're good.
Got everything. All right, let's see.
And that's just for a little sneak peek. If you go back to that terminal, so get out of that. So Control C, or just now do NX build NX next Netlify, and notice that right now in your folders you don't have a dist folder. So, oh, interesting.
Brand target build. Interesting. What's going on there? Am I missing package?
You don't have your package.json.
Ah, there we go. That'll do it. Why is my package.json not coming over? This is the downside to doing what I just did. Is like it seems like a good idea to just like drag and drop, but it really, really is not. So let's go find this again. Okay. So yeah, because I definitely did not pull everything over there. So let's.
Oh, there you go.
I think did I get everything out of here? I think I did. So
Looks like it.
All right, that's good. Okay, where are you hiding? Window, secondary window, new window. Oh, let's pull that over here. Let's go applications, documents, GitHub. Holy moly, NX Netlify. Let's pull all of you over here too. All right, keep both. Nah, replace, bro. All right, apps. Oh, and then they hid. All right, let's see if this works this time. So it should be good. Let's try again. There you go.
Nice. Good stuff.
Good.
All right.
Stop that. I don't know how I should feel. I don't know how I should feel about that comment.
No, that's the computers in general. Just glad that everything's working. That's not you.
All right, so we got our build. Our build was successful, and now we've got our dist folder here.
Yeah.
There we go.
So inside the dist folder, there's an apps folder because that's what we have, and then
Yep.
inside the apps folder is our NX Next Netlify app. And then notice the .next folder inside there. That's gonna be important in a bit. This was a gotcha from this morning. So, okay, now, once you get that into GitHub,
Push this bad boy up here. Now we could do this the appropriate way, or we could do this.
Yep.
Success. Look at that. Whoever told you that you need to learn Git commands in terminal, they lied to you. Just download GitHub Desktop and never leave the GitHub ecosystem. Just never leave the GitHub ecosystem.
I would say this is probably a good demonstration of why it's probably good to learn the Git.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I can show you how to add a Git remote after if you want.
No, it's good. There's some, you know what's funny is hiding around here somewhere that I got. So I'm, you know what the really ironic thing is? I'm technically like a GitHub educator. Like I receive stuff from them every year telling me how to teach people how to do GitHub-y things. And here I am not actually doing it in the appropriate way. I'm not gonna be able to find it. But they have like a really nice cheat sheet
sweet.
That they give you that tells you how to do all these things. That I have like 25 of them in like a stack somewhere that I cannot find. Okay, either way, we are what we need to, where we need to be. We're up there. We should be on GitHub now. Let's go. Am I logged? Oh, I'm in the wrong account. Over to. Oh, let's go. Oh, we're already over here. Okay, let's drag this one over here. Nope, that's not what we want to show. All right, let's go and show my stuff. Oh, Andrew McClain does not exist. Andrew McClain certainly does. Spectacular. Look at that beautiful repo. I'm very disappointed. I went on today and I was like, I am disappointed that I am a B. I was an A+ for a long time, not doing enough coding. I was an A+ for a really long time because I was like constantly building projects and like contributing to others, and we've dropped. I need to code a little bit more.
I've never seen that thing. I wonder what I am.
Yeah, this is it. It's so cool. It's like it's so if you like Vercel, it's actually hosted on Vercel, but yeah, literally like ranks you based on stuff.
Cool.
You can just add it. So if you go into your like README, it's just you grab this link. I'll throw it in chat too. Jesus. So this is for me, and I'm pretty sure that I can just like go to this link too. So that's like what I have in my README file, and I'm pretty sure. Let's get out of there. Go here. I think. Yeah. So wait, what's your
it's Nicholas
handle?
LeBlanc, one word. Nikolas Leblanc.
All right. What do you think? What do you think you're going to be?
I'm gonna say like C or D probably, because I don't have a lot of activity, especially not private or public activity.
So I think this counts private activity as well. It just doesn't show things. So I think as long as, but maybe not. Yeah. So there's like a count private like param that you can put in there. So here we go. A, B plus. B
Look at
plus.
that.
Damn,
Nice.
that one hurts a little bit, but I'll take it.
Still
I'll
code.
take it. It's not good. Like, this is kind of the thing that I find really interesting. Like 99 commits in a year, or like what we're 6 months through the year. That actually seems pretty low. But you know, you are an engineering manager, especially when you look at my 127 commits. Mine are just really not good commits. That's the real moral of the story. PR.
It's like I somehow have more stars than you, and I don't know where or why.
Oh, you must have created a repo. I have a feeling that that's it. Anyways, so I think we're live up on here. Let me just go check and see. I closed that window. Now I got to open it up over here again. The one downside I will say to Mac that I still haven't gotten fully used to, because I'm definitely a Windows developer or Windows user, is just actually going in and like having different windows open is challenging. All right.
Speaking of DevCools, there's a few tools for that. One that I use is called Spectacle, and it sets up a bunch of keyboard shortcuts for you so that you can like navigate windows easier and like make them half width or quarter width or full screen.
Is this here, Spectacle app?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Interesting. All right,
it's free.
And of course, look at that. I love it. All right, let's see if my repository is there. Hey, Netlify. All right, so awesome. We are there. We are live. What's next, Nick?
So now let's go to Netlify. And if you don't have an account, then you will create one by connecting it to that GitHub account. All right. If you do have one, there you go. It's already connected to that GitHub account.
Success.
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure that site exists. Yeah, it does. I need to delete this because you don't exist as a repo anymore. Can you see all of my failed deploys from yesterday?
I have a bunch from yesterday too.
Let me delete this one. Come on, where's my danger zone? This is my danger zone. All right. Beautiful. All right, so what are we doing, Nick? What's up next?
We are going to import an existing project.
All right. So many projects. I didn't even know that I had some of these projects. Look at that. Awesome feature management. Oh, by the way, I'm trying to get this awesome feature management awesome repo off the ground. And basically, I was told there's not enough stuff in it. So if anybody out there that's watching the stream has feature flag content that they want to throw in there, we need more. We need more stuff. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for our NX.
There it is.
Netlify. There it is. And this, this is where I got stuck up yesterday. Oh, and it also said it is a Nextjs.
Yeah, so it recognizes that it's next, but it looks like it's going to mess up the build based on the build command. So yeah, okay. So the build command. So remember what you did on your terminal just to actually build your site locally?
Not at all. Not at
all. It was nx build and then the name of your app. So nx-next-netlify.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
So that's what you want it to do.
So we're running this command.
Yep.
Great. Copy that. No sense in typing twice. All right, let's go and get this window open. Oh my God. Come on. You can do it. There we go. All right. So this is what we're running in our build command.
Yep.
All right.
And so your base directory is going to be the root. I'm fairly sure. Let me just double check my notes here. Yeah, your base directory is going to be that. Your build command is what you have. And then what do you think your publish directory is going to be?
So I thought that the published directory it's something like app, like it is this .next, but it has something before it. Or is it dist? I have no idea.
Right. So when you ran that build command locally, it made a dist folder, right?
It did, yes.
So, and then inside the dist folder, there was...
Yeah. So the dist apps. Oh, so we're literally doing this entire structure here then.
Yeah, because that's what Netlify is doing. It's basically doing what you just did, and then you have to tell it where to find the files.
Okay, this tracks so much more because yesterday, that was definitely the struggle, was like figuring out. So we're dist/apps/nx next netlify / is that it? I think that might
That
be
should do it.
Dist apps nx next. Yes, there we go. All right, so that should do it. Was that easy? That's disappointing.
The .next builder part tripped me up this morning. I didn't realize that you had to include that part. But to Netlify's credit, in their deployment error logs, they tell you as much. So that helped.
Okay, so wait, so let's remove this. Actually, let's see that. Let's actually watch that process and see those logs. So
okay,
that should be good. Let's deploy. We don't need any environment variables?
Nope.
I like definitely went down the rabbit hole of like forum posts on how to get this to work. It was very interesting.
Yeah,
I do like their deploy, like their logging system for deploys are them and Vercel. I really, really like Vercel's, or not Vercel, sorry. Render. Render is another sort of like full stack kind of Netlify alternative,
cool.
kind of in the space of like Railway and stuff, but their logging of stuff is really, really nice.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned those issues because like when I last night went to Google how to do this, the first thing that came up was a bunch of people saying that it didn't work. When in fact it does, and it works very easily if you just know what to put in. So hint to Netlify.
I agree. I also do, like, I will say, like, one of the downsides is like everything's changing so often, right? And so because of that, like things that were true like 6 months ago are no longer true now because they've tried to do something to improve the process. Okay,
yep.
So that build went smoothly so far,
the build,
but I'm gonna get an error.
The deploy's not gonna work.
No, the build might not even work. Oh no, build is working. Oh yeah,
there you go. The build failed. Let's see. Yeah, see on line 119 right at the top, it says in most cases it should be set to .next unless you have chosen a custom distdir.
So let's go and change our deploy settings. Let's configure that and add our /.next and save that and trigger a deploy. Where are we hiding here? Where did I go? Deploys, trigger deploy site. All right. I do also like I know it's a simple thing, but there's another service that I use that's like, I can't remember what it's called, but like it's a lot of, you cannot manually trigger a deploy, which I was like, that's a poor design choice. But here we are. All right, deploy log, there we go.
But I found this experience like to be pretty good. Once everything was working, it's lovely. Yeah. It's very fast too. Granted, there's not a whole lot to this sample application that might take it a long time to get going, but it's a very smooth experience. Yeah, and you also like they've really done like the UI of this is really good, but also just like they are building out a ton of integrations. Like there's so many integrations with Netlify, like so many of these things that I just cannot say enough positive things about. Also, I feel that's like awesome. This is a good, looking at integrations, I find is often a really cool way to discover new tools like FormSpree. I have like a bunch of front-end websites and needed to collect form information. There's like FormSpree is a really good site for that, or really good tooling for that. Polyscale, Postmark, SendGrid, Snake, Stripe. Very Good Security. I would not want to name my company Very Good Security because that could, if you have bad security at any point, then you need to change your company name. Yeah. Might have to change the name to Not So Good Anymore.
Not So Good Anymore security. Was good security.
Yeah.
Okay security. I feel like people would be okay with that. It's like
we're trying our best security.
We're trying our best security. That's the company that you want to support.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So we're packaging things. Everything's good so far. No errors, which is a win.
Yep.
What else do we have here? Forms. Oh, speaking of the forms thing, this is big. There's a company that I just saw that's like coming out that like their entire thing is adding like forms to completely front end sites, and they seem to be doing well. Analytics, edge functions, edge. We need to do it. We need to have a conversation on edge stuff on a future one of these. All right, come on. We can only vamp for so long, people. We can only vamp for so long. Oh, here we go.
I think you're good. I think you're good.
All right, let's go open production deploy. Hey, we got there.
We did it.
Nice. That was very smooth, actually. That was a pretty smooth process. If you know what to, Nick, it's almost like you prepared for this in wanting to go through and show individual commands. You may have known. You may have known what happened. Yes, thank you. I'm pretty sure this is Anthony.
It is Anthony. Yeah.
It is Anthony. You're welcome, Anthony. You're next on the stream where you will be pairing with Nick, but this time you're gonna be navigating and Nick will be driving.
Based on the view of his backyard yesterday on that Zoom call, he might want to tell us stuff about landscaping. Very nice.
I agree. All right, so we have our Nextjs app up. So we've got two options, Nick. Option one is we can keep going through and we could add DevCycle to this. Option two is I kind of have us like scheduled in for another 20 minutes and we could just go over to like our DevCools side of things, and then we can come back to doing some other cool stuff with NX in the next stream. Like what would you like to do? Do you want to add DevCycle or do you want to move over to the DevCools?
Actually, neither of those. What I'd like to do is, because of NX, because what we've done so far, like there's no reason to have used NX for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a component to your lib folder or your lib folder, and then we're going to put it into your application and push that, and then you'll see it.
All right.
So to do that, you want to do...
As Nick searches for the command.
Yeah, it's NX space G. Do you remember what G stands for?
It stands for generate.
You got it.
What's up? I'm winning this.
And then the package name, which is at nx/next :lib.
Yep.
And then you're going to do a space.
And name this.
And then you're going to give it a name. So let's call it button.
NX next.
Oh, and at nx/next.
Oh, somebody typed the wrong thing. There we go. All right.
There you go. We'll go with CSS still.
Success.
Awesome. Now, if you open up your libs folder, excuse me, you'll see button there. And button is just a component. So open up source, open up index.ts, open up lib. So I've got a lib folder inside your libs folder. Click on button.tsx. There you go. So that is a React component.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not actually a button. It's just going to say welcome to button because it doesn't know any better, but that's okay. Now, if you go to project.json inside button.
Oh, project.json inside button. All right, button.
Yeah.
Project.json. Yep.
But okay, go to package. No, it's not there. Oh, I know. Sorry. Go down to tsconfig in the root.
Yep. Oh, in the root.
Scroll down. There. Okay. So you see these paths. See how it says at nx-next-netlify/button?
Yep.
So that's the kind of thing that you would normally expect to import something from in JavaScript, right? So you would do like import whatever from this library. And you can see that it's setting up a path to the folders that you've seen. So libs, button, source, index.ts. So this is some of that NX magic that's going on. So I would just copy the key. So at nx next netlify button, copy that, Then go into your application. And yeah, in your page.tsx. And then just anywhere you want.
Where do we want to add this? Let's go back over and look at what it looks like. Oh, the wrong thing there. Wait. Oh, bloody wait. I'm going to be downloading this window manager immediately after this. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's because I need this one. We'll get the window eventually. All right, let's add our button into replace our what's next button that's there. All right, so
now remember that it's not actually a button.
Yes, that's okay. All right, what's next? So let's replace, this is what's next? There we go. So this is also not a button, but looks like a button. All right, so we're gonna import at the top of this, I'm guessing.
Yep. And it's a named export, so you're going to do import curly brace button capital B. There you go, and then from what you copied. Yeah.
Look at that. Thank you, GitHub Copilot. All right, import button.
Now,
awesome.
now imagine you had multiple Next applications in this mono repo, and they all needed this button. That's how you would use them all.
I love that. That's super smooth. All right, let's go down to where we deleted our. Oh, whatever. Let's put it wherever. I have no idea where it is deleted that thing from, so we're gonna put it at the top here.
Yeah, just don't go anywhere.
Yeah, go right there in that welcome. All right, and how are we adding that?
It's just a component, so it's just capital B for button as like an HTML tag, and then just close the tag. You don't actually have a label prop in there. There you go.
Success. All right, let's push this.
Yeah.
Right, and there we go. Boom. And add button. Actually, should we build to see if this works first? Maybe we should do it locally before we push it to.
Sure.
There we go. Let's go.
It's gonna work.
That is a bold statement, sir. That is a bold statement. All right, NX serve. Where are we hiding?
And if you're doing serve, you don't need to build first because serve is just like a development server.
I just wanted to see if there was going to be any errors. All right, you're up and running, and there's no button. Oh, welcome to, because it's not a button, everybody. Because it's not a button. Listen to the man. I love it. There we go. All right, so let's now, let's push this. Add button, commit. All right, let's push this. Beautiful. All right, let's go over to.
So Netlify should already have picked that up.
It should have. Let's close this window. We don't need NX docs anymore. We don't care about you. Let's go to our deploys. Did it see it? Yeah, there we go. It's building. All right, and now is our vamp for a moment.
It should take less time too because it should have most of the things cached.
Yeah, should being the optimum word. No. Actually,
so after this, we can do like a lightning round of the DevCools if there's time.
Yeah, let's do it. We got. I think we'll have about 10 minutes left, which is totally fine.
Okay.
Good to know. We got a bunch of them. We got a bunch of really cool things. So I'm excited to talk about our dev. I mean, this is also really cool. Like, I mean, technically, this is DevCools. I would say, like, in fairness, like, this process was very, very smooth to deploy. And in fairness, I now am going to go to all of those forum posts and just like post this video and say, go watch this video go watch an hour-long video to solve your problem. Yeah. And also buy DevCycle. All right. Yeah. So it's not taking as long of a time.
I should point out that DevCycle is free though, depending on your usage. So.
Look at that. That's back and forth. That we're playing tennis right now. We're on there. It's free. You don't even need to pay for it. No buying of DevCycle. I mean, and even if you do, it's usage based, right? So if you are using it, or I will say this, if you're a student watching this stream, you can actually get a full, like the premium plan, which is like $200 a year, plus all the costs on top of that. You can get that for free for the next year. And we're part of like this really cool DevOps package that just released. So check that out. Awesome. All right. So our build completed. Let's open our production deploy. Hey, welcome. Nice.
Sweet.
That was super smooth. I love this. This makes a lot more. This Nick, it's almost like almost as though you're like an engineering manager who manages things and knows about structures that are needed in order to build effective software.
That's the look I'm going for.
It's working for you. Yeah. All right, so I love that.
And I hope that does actually explain to you like the value of NX, like what's the point of it, right? So now you kind of have an example.
I do. All right, so I feel like we need to come up with a saying. Is this a dev cool or a dev fool? That's my thing. I'm really all about. Is it right? Come on. You listen, man. You named this stream, so I'm gonna add a little bit of spice to it. Is this a dev cool or dev cool? I think dev cool. I definitely think that these three work really well together. So I'm a big fan.
I agree.
Also, I'm a big fan of the fact that I just noticed that their NX logo has. I'm pretty sure this is a whale. I want to say it's a whale.
Yeah, it's a narwhal.
A what?
Well, their company is Narwhal, NRWL. See, you can see the little nose thing, the
Yeah, I get it now.
horn. Yeah,
that makes sense. The nose.
I've actually never noticed that before, though.
I'm glad I could provide some sort of learnings in this stream. All right, so Nick, you had a bunch of dev cool. This is like what you do, and if you're on the stream, if you're watching, if you've never checked this out before, so constantly in our internal company chat, Nick and a lot of our engineers are sharing really cool stuff that they have found, like really cool tools that people should go check out. And it doesn't get enough love, right? It just goes into the channel and then it disappears. So that's a big reason why we created this theme, was to give it some love. So Nick, I'm going to take away the screen share. I'm going to give it back over to you. Show us some of the cool tools that you found.
All right. Let me just hold on.
This is where I'm not sure what my cool tools were. Too many.
Well, I was just looking them up. I needed to get them in my browser. Okay, Nick, just logging into Notion.
I mean, I can pull them up too. I've got them in Notion right now.
I got them.
All right, we'll leave
actually, you've been doing a great job of screen sharing. So yeah, you go for it.
And
then I can just add color.
That's it. All right, got one up. Let's get all of them up. We got four to go through, speed run through. All right, here we go. Let's get this up on the screen. So we're going to start with continue. What is this? What is this continue thing?
This is a Chrome extension. No, it's a Visual Code extension. Speaking of Visual Code extensions. And it's hooked up to ChatGPT, just like everything else in the world is right now. And it gives you basically it's kind of like GitHub Copilot, but it's a bit more specific in that you can actually ask it questions about the code that you're giving it context about. So you can kind of imagine if you copy and paste stuff into ChatGPT and ask it a question, it's equivalent to that. It's pretty handy. It did not ask me for a token at first, and now it's asking me for my OpenAI token. I'm kind of disappointed about that. I thought it was cool that it was free, but I think basically they just give you, I don't know, probably a few prompts at first. The UI was a little awkward, to be honest, but I like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing though. I find ChatGPT for technical problems it's good if it's an old language with a huge community that it was able to be trained on, but for like new tools, new frameworks, new languages, it's a lot less reliable, and it lies real convincingly. So
big time. It's made up NPM packages for me before.
Really?
Like that just don't exist. It just assumes that it does, which is generally a safe assumption given how many NPM packages there are. But
it's very true. I also, I had it just create methods in a framework. It was just like, I use a framework that's very similar to Vue, and is based on Vue. And it's like, it totally has this Vue method in it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. No documentation says it does. Maybe you're wrong. All right, continue. So I would say, very cool, but like use with caution, because ChatGPT is a big fat liar.
Yes.
But
your mileage may vary, but it's something to play with.
Totally. All right. Next up we have Codium. What is Codium? Another AI. All of the AI.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't remember sharing this one with you.
I remember the name, but the context that I remember, scroll up to the top. Open source PR review agent. That's it. Click on that one. Yeah, so this one, you could go into like any PR, even on private repos, I think, and you can just @Codium AI and then ask it to review it, and it will tell you about the PR. So again, it's, ChatGPT, it's everywhere. But it's also kind of neat. And you can see the commands there, so you can get it to review. You can ask it a question about the PR. You can have it describe what the PR is doing, and you can ask it to improve it. So given that you can just kind of like, you don't need to install it within your organization, you can just kind of use it. It's a very good demo.
Yeah.
So as far as quick activations go, like they've got that nailed.
I feel like all of these AI tools trained on data up to 2021 are just like a good reason. Don't worry about those security warnings. You don't need to upgrade to the latest package. Just like stay with your old deprecated tool that's no longer receiving updates, because you can get updates from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Codium. Next
I
up,
hope this one isn't also. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So this is what I was trying to get running last night. So you've got Nextjs, which is server, like as I explained, it was kind of server rendered first.
Yeah.
And it gives you an HTML page, then it loads up the JavaScript, and then it hydrates. And then the user can actually interact with the page. So that process of hydration is something that like Next endorses, Gatsby endorses. And it's kind of like, it's the accepted way to handle the bridging of server generated pages and client side applications. QuickJS is by the guy that made Angular and Angular 2, Misko Hevery.
Okay.
And he has strong opinions about how hydration is a bad choice. And he's trying to coin the term resumability, which is basically like what's rendered on the server, any of the data that is relevant that would otherwise have to be hydrated, it gets serialized and immediately passed to the front end to basically like do that hydration step instantly. So this is what I really wanted to run on Netlify, but it was tricky to get running. And I have a lot of familiarity with Next, so I was doing that. But I'm very excited to try this out.
Yeah. Oh, and they got a nice sandbox here. I feel like this is the gold. Like these sandboxes are really the gold for trying out these tools. So
yeah,
interested to explore that. All right. Last up in our speed run of DevCool is Effect. What is it? Oh, TypeScript library. Sorry. I hate on things only because that's what I've discovered you do in the world of tech. You hate on things that you know nothing about until you discover that you like them, and then you find a new thing to hate on. So what is Effect? What's Effect all about?
So I mentioned earlier that I'm a big fan of functional programming.
Yeah.
But I am no expert at it. The extent of my knowledge of functional programming is like to keep your functions pure. But there's a whole like category theory level of stuff to functional programming that is difficult to do with TypeScript. But there's a few frameworks that try to allow that to happen. And Effect is one of them that I came across lately. So basically what it does is it allows you to kind of like build up these pipelines. So object-oriented programming is like defining the data. Yeah. Functional programming, I kind of consider as like defining the pipelines that data goes through. Yeah. And so like you're telling it everything to do before actually telling it to run. So like things like IO are like the last thing to ever happen in functional programming. I'm kind of just running my mouth because I don't really know that much about it. I just I'm fascinated by it.
Yes. That is it. Thank you. You didn't even need to admit that, but I love that you did. That's it. That is the trick. That's the trick to streaming. You need to know nothing, but just like share what you do know.
This is something that I would love to get better at. Like along the lines of like RxJS, I would love to be great at because it's just cool. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I invite anyone to get into this. It would probably look very foreign to everyone, but if you were to go to the why effect section, then there will be some pretty solid justifications for it.
Cool. I dig it. I mean, I like that. I feel like also I do enjoy that it is very much the Buffer logo that they just like stole full on. They were just like, you know what? Forget it. Like we can do whatever we want. We're a software company. Buffer is not really building software. except they are. All right. That's a lot too. That's a lot of DevTools DevCools. These are all very, very useful things that I think people should check out. And I think on a future stream, we should try out some of these. I feel like we can just build up this thing of like things to try out in the DevCools. Yeah, but that said, we've been streaming for about an hour and a half. You have like things to do in the world of management that are not sitting here on stream pair programming with me. So yeah, I think we're kind of closing in on the end of our stream for today, but I will say to everybody, if you liked this stream, if you liked the energy, fear not, because Nick and I will be back. I think we're gonna see Nick and I'll chat after this and see how it went. I think it went well. I think that was fun.
I hope it went okay.
I hope it went okay too.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. That's all that really matters. This is a corporate channel, so it's really, if we enjoy it, then we're gonna keep putting that content out there. But yeah, so we'll probably. Yeah, I will too. I'll definitely be showing this out there. It helps that I have a control of our social media handles. But I think we'll probably be back next month. We'll probably do this on a monthly basis, exploring some cool tools. So if you have really cool dev tools that you are finding and you're like, oh, I'd love to know if this is actually a good tool to check out, but I don't have the time to actually go through the process of trying it out, send it our way. Where can you do that? That might be the question that you are asking. You can actually do that over on our Discord. So you can head over to bit.ly/DevCycle Discord. You can at either Nick or I over there. If you are wanting to share some tools that you found that you'd like us to check out. Yeah, also head over there and let us know what you thought of the stream. So if you're catching this as a VOD, or if you're catching this live, let us know what you liked, what you disliked, and share this content. If you know people that are in the mono repo space and they're building with Nextjs and they love Netlify, like share this content with them. And then if you are also doing feature flagging, you can try out DevCycle at the same time. We've got lots of other streams on the channel that talk about how to use DevCycle. So don't worry about that. In fact, I think the next stream that I will be back for is, I think, next Friday. I'm going to be streaming like a special Does It Toggle from the DevCycle headquarters with a special guest from a partner company in DevRel. I think, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're gonna be live again next Friday, and then maybe we'll move off on Fridays. But who doesn't want to listen to Andrew and Nick talk on Friday afternoon? But with that, I think that's it for our first ever DevTools and DevCools today, exploring NX, Nextjs, and Netlify. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a huge amount of fun. I hope that we will see you back here on our channel again soon. And thank you for being part of the DevCycle community. All right, that's it. See you later, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.